We are taking a look at the top 10 most popular Pokemon without an illustration rare or alt art. So Pikachu may rank as #1 most popular Pokemon, but it has an alternate art. So he will not be listed on this list. This is for the top 10 most popular Pokemon that don't have an alt art. So let's hop right on into it. The first one we were taking a look at is Quagsire, right? Who would have guessed he was that popular? There's actually a poll in Japan about top 10 most liked Pokemon, and Quagsire was number 10 on that poll. Now, Quagsire's never really had a big chase card. Shocking, I know. Now, I could see him really getting a really cozy, laid-back illustration rare. I don't quite think he's alt art material, because he's not usually a competitive card or a highly chased card. So I could see him getting an illustration rare, which I've always considered illustration rares as kind of a way to give less popular Pokemon a chance to shine, despite Quagsire ranking in the top 10. So Quagsire, I'd like to see a card of him just like laying in a river, floating it down nice and lazily out in the sun. I think that would be a beautiful card. Now, coming in at number 9, we got Flygon. Flygon is an absolutely amazing Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that everyone wants. It's a Pokemon that everyone wishes would get a Mega Evolution. So with this ZA coming out, fingers crossed we can get that. But if you even take a look on your screens here, just in Sword and Shield, just in Scarlet and Violet, it really doesn't have much going on. It has 4 cards. And Scarlet and Violet, kind of same thing. There was no real big Flygon card. It's pre-evolution, has an illustration rare, but not Flygon itself. For some reason, Pokemon just seems to keep forgetting about poor little Flygon. So I would love to see Flygon get an alternate art. Not just an illustration rare, but an alternate art in the Scarlet and Violet series. That's something I think could definitely happen by the end of 2025. We haven't quite had a big dragon set yet, so this and a few other ones on this list might be popping up soon. This one I throw on the list just because it's my personal favorite, and dear God, give me a chase card of it. That is Sandshrew. I know, crickets are chirping. No one likes Sandshrew. I love Sandshrew. Favorite Pokemon of all time. Now, I bring it up because there is a chance it could get an illustration rare. Again, illustration rare has always been a way to get Pokemon that are less popular, less competitive, a chance to shine. And please give us a Sandshrew as an illustration rare before those go away. And coming in at number 7 is Chandelure. Chandelure, last big card was in the Lost Origins Trainer Gallery. Now, I like the card, but it was kind of ruined with the yellow border. I like a lot of the yellow border cards, but this one just didn't pop. If you see it in the Japanese version, it looks way better. However, it did have a VMAX earlier in the Sword and Shield block, which I absolutely loved. It was one of the few VMAXs. I actually enjoyed the art, the way the Aurora kind of comes around. Chandelure looks like flames blasting from it. So I think there's a lot of things they can do with this card. They could lean with the flame side or even towards the ghost side. And I actually think Scarlet and Violet is holding back on a big ghost set on us because of a lot of Pokemon you're going to see on this list today. So let's get a Chandelure card, maybe in a haunted castle, right? Sitting at the top, eerily sitting over a bunch of armor and weapons, right? Coming in at number 6 is Decidueye. Now, Decidueye has been one of the favorite starters ever since its release. It was really one of the first Pokemon that added a new type, besides just fighting fire and water ground or grass ground. It was a ghost type starter Pokemon, and that's awesome, right? So Decidueye actually had a really cool card in Sword and Shield. It was one of my favorite cards to play. It was its 3rd stage evolution where it had the ability where Vs and VMAXs couldn't attack it. I love that card. So you get a lot of people who just constantly play Vs and VMAXs just on top of each other over and over, and it was annoying. So I'd pop down a rare candy, throw Decidueye out turn 1, and suddenly they couldn't attack me. And if they didn't put anything but Vs or VMAXs in their deck, I'd basically win by default. Either they'd quit, or I'd sit there and take little small pot shots at their bench until I eventually won. So this was my why I considered my annoying deck to people. So Decidueye, I could see it getting a very competitive card, especially if they bring back that ability, but for EXs. But could also see it being in a haunted forest, creeping around through the night, trying to sharpshoot somebody, right? Again, I think there's going to be a Ghost set coming out sometime in 2025, maybe early 2026. We shall see. Now, coming in at number 5 is one of the most popular Pokemon of all time, and that is Gengar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, Gengar's been in Scarlet and Violet. Yes, but not as an illustration rare or as an alt art. There is a full art, which is technically an ultra rare. And then there's also just a regular EX and Temporal Forces. But we're talking about illustration and alt arts here today. So, it's going to happen. Gengar is going to have an alternate art in this series. He's going to be around for a while. He's too popular not to capitalize on it. Nearly any Gengar card skyrockets in value. We all know what happened with the VMAX in Fusion Strike. That card is sitting above Mew right now in the set. So Gengar is definitely going to be coming again. I think there's going to be a Ghost set series, or a Ghost set in the series. And I want Gengar to be part of that. Somewhere in the background, maybe in the shadows where you can't see its form, but you just see its creepy smile. That would be an amazing alt art. Be sure to comment down below which one of these you would like to see again, alt art or illustration rare. Is there one on this list you think will happen that hasn't gotten one, or one that you just would like to happen like I did with Sandshrew? Coming in at number 4 is Lugia. Lugia is one of the most popular Pokemon of all time. The Neo series really set it off by having him be the big chase card, and that's really what cemented Pokemon's collectability, was that Lugia card. So we really need to see another one come back. It got a lot of love in Sword and Shield with the Silver Tempest set. You can see here, it was massive. Not just that, but it's still really played today. I think, did rotation just happen? Or is about to happen where this card will get knocked off? So then I'm sure we'll see another Lugia at some point. I'm not sure if it will be the poster child of a set or more of a side character. I would like to see an alt art or an illustration rare where he's not really scary looking. Maybe something like from the movie where he's taking care of the baby or something. I would like to see it switched up a little bit. Instead of scary, let's see it's gentler style. Now, coming in at number 3 is Rayquaza, right? Rayquaza, one of the most popular Pokemon of all time, one of the best legendaries I think ever made. And we haven't seen it really return in Scarlet and Violet yet. We've seen it quite heavily in Sword and Shield. You had it in Evolving Skies. You had it in Silver Tempest Trainer Gallery. But we quite haven't had a big one in Scarlet and Violet. And he's coming, right? He'll be here at some point. And not just a Ghost set. I think they're holding back a Dragon set. We have this. We have Flygon. We also have our number 1 on this list. Tell me if you can think of what that is in the comments down below before clicking ahead. Now, this leads us to number 2, and that is Lucario. Now, Lucario has just been announced getting a Mega Evolution in one of the upcoming sets. Now, does that mean it's going to get an illustration or an alt art? It doesn't. So it could just get the Mega Evolution like an EX, and that's it. Now, we don't know if they're going to keep if they're going to have Mega Evolution alt arts or illustration rares. And if they don't, I'm going to be extremely disappointed if they toss out illustration rares and alt arts specifically just for the Mega Evolutions. I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm much more of a collector than a player, so just it being a Mega Evolution card art isn't really going to hook me. But if this guy gets an illustration rare or a alt art, I think it will be the top card in the set. I can see them making it just a normal fighting alternate art, or they can go like the whole Machop route or Machamp route and make it helping in a town, something more cozy, less battling, right? Lucario is always depicted in a giant battle, right? Which is fine. Give him a giant Kamehameha Blast, right, in the middle of the card art. Now we're coming in at the number 1 spot, and it's unbelievable he doesn't have a card yet in the Scarlet and Violet series, and that is Dragonite. Dragonite doesn't have one yet, which is crazy. He had his alternate art in Evolving Skies. It's had some, it had V-Stars, Vs, and it does have a terrestrial card in Obsidian Flame, but no illustration or alt art. Dragonite's one of the heavy hitters. He's coming. He's going to get one. And again, I think there's going to be a big dragon set coming with him and Rayquaza in it. Now, that might be a bit redundant with Evolving Skies, where you had Rayquaza and Dragonite, one of the big hitters in that one. But hey, prismatic evolutions happen with the Eevees again, okay? So I don't think they're going to leave Dragonite on the bench, one of the most popular Pokemon of all time, not getting a chase card in the Scarlet and Violet series. But these are the top 10 cards that I think are the most popular that don't have an alt-art illustration rare, and I think they're going to happen by the end of the Scarlet and Violet series. That might be another year left, maybe 2. We usually know once the new game's announced. Once the new game's announced, the new card series will be announced. Usually come out a month ahead or a month after. That's usually how it balances. Then we'll see a reset. But I think all these cards we named today will have a card before that reset happens. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what was your favorite Pokemon on this list.